The great white shark is the boss of the ocean. It has sharp teeth and a scary reputation. But there is a secret hidden beneath that fierce look, and even scientists are puzzled by it. In 2003, a team in Australia attached a tracker to a huge 9-ton great white shark. Then, the signal just disappeared. The shark seemed to vanish into thin water. What could take down such a powerful hunter? Was it a killer whale? Or something even more frightening? Come with me as we explore this ocean mystery and uncover the surprising new clues. Chapter 1. The Strange Discovery. A strange discovery in 2003, Australian scientists were deep into a research mission on great white sharks when they tagged a colossal 9-ton predator to track its migration. But what should have been an ordinary study quickly turned eerie. Only a few months later, the shark's tag washed ashore without the shark. What could have possibly overpowered one of the ocean's apex predators? Was it a colossal squid, an orca, or something much more ancient lurking beneath the waves? While this mystery sparked theories, it wasn't the first strange event scientists had encountered. Filmmakers Dave and Jenny Riggs had their own unsettling experience on a beach in Bremer Bay, Australia, while documenting marine life. They stumbled upon 9 massive sperm whales washed ashore, lifeless. But something even stranger caught their attention. A group of great white sharks circling the shoreline, drawn by the scent of the decaying whales. Most people would have backed away, but Dave saw an opportunity. He quickly called a team of scientists equipped with geotagging technology to track the sharks and uncover more about their behavior. One of the sharks tagged that day was a massive female they named Shark Alpha. For months, her movements were unremarkable, offering scientists a rare glimpse into great white migration. But on Christmas Eve, things took a shocking turn. Just before midnight, Shark Alpha's tracking data indicated a sudden change. Instead of swimming along her usual route, she started off course and plunged deep into the ocean. Her descent continued at an astonishing rate until she reached nearly 19,000 feet, around 1,000 feet deeper than great whites typically dive. The depth alone was startling, but then the tag's temperature readings shifted dramatically. In an instant, the surrounding water jumped from a brisk 46 degrees Fahrenheit to a shocking 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Such a rapid temperature spike could only mean one thing. The tag, and likely Shark Alpha herself, had been engulfed by something much warmer, possibly inside the stomach of a massive creature. But what could devour a 9-ton shark into the abyss? Chapter 2. The Search for the Predator. Despite the overwhelming dangers, Dave Riggs managed to rally a team as bold, or perhaps as reckless, as he was. Together, they prepared to plunge into one of the most dangerous spots in the Southern Ocean, their sights set on uncovering what lurked within the depths of the kill zone. Equipped with their DIY underwater vehicle, they descended, unaware of just how intense the experience would become. As soon as they hit the water, tension skyrocketed. Beneath the surface, the ocean was alive with movement, and the surrounding waters seemed to ripple with the presence of predatory giants. Just 65 feet down, the team found themselves in a chaotic environment surrounded by roughly 40 whale sharks and a full pod of killer whales. It was like swimming into an underwater battlefield, a live-action feeding frenzy where the slightest misstep could mean death. The predators circled, their shapes flickering in and out of sight, giving the team a small taste of the deadly power surging beneath the waves. Quickly, it became clear that they were in over their heads. Whale sharks and orcas dominated the area, each fierce and unpredictable, making their mission exponentially more dangerous than anticipated. Surrounded by a veritable army of predators, the team's options narrowed fast. Staying any longer meant risking an attack with little to no chance of escape, and the contraption, sturdy as it was, wouldn't hold up against a coordinated assault by these apex hunters. Reluctantly, they decided to resurface, leaving the deeper mysteries of the kill zone unexplored, at least for the time being. Yet their journey wasn't fruitless. While they didn't reach the abyssal depths they had aimed for, they made a significant discovery. The kill zone wasn't just another oceanic region. 2 species seemed especially dominant, the whale sharks and the killer whales. This insight raised new questions about the top predators in these waters and hinted at a complex power dynamic among the marine giants lurking below. Now, the real mystery loomed larger. Could one of these predators have been responsible for the demise of Shark Alpha, the powerful great white whose tag readings had sparked Dave's curiosity? Breaking it down, the team knew whale sharks, though massive and potentially dangerous due to their size, were generally peaceful filter feeders that rarely attacked other creatures, making it hard to believe they had overpowered a creature like Alpha with ease. But orcas were an entirely different story. As ocean giants, killer whales can reach lengths of over 30 feet, 3 times the size of a typical great white, and they are known to prey on sharks. With their strength, speed, and intelligence, Orcas seem the most likely suspects in the case of Shark Alpha's disappearance. However, the theory still had holes. The tag data showed that Alpha had met her end nearly 1,000 feet below the surface, an immense depth for any predator to reach, and here lay the problem. Killer whales, though formidable hunters, tend to operate near the surface, rarely venturing more than a few hundred feet down in search of prey. This deep-sea element complicated the puzzle, leaving the scientists and Dave wondering if something even more mysterious resided within those depths. What else could be hiding in the dark, unexplored valleys of the kill zone? Chapter 3. Into the Abyss, the Investigation. In their investigation into Shark Alpha's mysterious disappearance, scientists reached a chilling conclusion. Her tracking tag had been swallowed by a predator, one far larger and faster than the nearly great white herself. Shark Alpha wasn't just any creature. She was a powerful predator, massive and packed with muscle, feared by many of the ocean's creatures. Yet something had overpowered her, dragging her deep into the oceanic depths, and whatever it was seemed as unstoppable as it was terrifying. The clues left behind were scarce, but they hinted at a sinister end in the shadowy abyss of the Southern Ocean. Among those most fixated on solving the mystery was filmmaker Dave Riggs, who couldn't shake the sense that the truth lay in that very spot. This area of the Southern Ocean, ominously nicknamed the Kill Zone, was a place where nature's most fearsome predators met in deadly encounters. Below its churning surface, a vast undersea valley stretched down almost 3 miles, deeper than the Grand Canyon, an expanse teeming with life and death. Nutrients and natural gases seeped from the Earth's crust here, drawing swarms of smaller marine life, which in turn attracted predators in staggering numbers. Great white sharks, killer whales, and colossal squids battled for dominance in what could only be described as a true nightmare under the sea. For most, the kill zone would be too perilous to approach, but for Dave, the danger only fueled his determination to uncover the truth. He set his sights on a dive into the very heart of this deadly ecosystem. Knowing a standard dive would mean certain death, Dave embarked on an audacious mission to build his own makeshift underwater vehicle. Scavenging materials like metal frames, parts from an old lawnmower, and layers of protective fiberglass, he crafted a vessel designed to withstand the treacherous descent and any attacks from formidable sea creatures. But even with this hardened contraption, the risks were daunting. Could he really trust this makeshift vessel in shark-infested waters? More importantly, could any vehicle truly protect him if he came face to face with whatever had devoured Shark Alpha? Number 1. The Megalodon. One creature from the depths of history that continues to haunt my imagination is the Megalodon, the largest shark to ever roam our oceans. Unlike many prehistoric animals that have faded from public consciousness, there remains a significant number of enthusiasts and theorists who believe that this formidable beast might still be lurking in the deep blue waters today. So buckle up as we dive into the chilling world of the Megalodon, a predator that inspires both awe and terror. Fossil evidence suggests that Megalodon could grow up to a staggering 60 feet in length, a size comparable to that of a large dinosaur. To put it into perspective, imagine a creature so colossal that its jaws could open more than 11 feet wide. This gigantic mouth could easily engulf a great white shark or even 2 adult humans. While humans didn't exist during the time Megalodon ruled the seas over 3 million years ago, sharks were certainly on the menu. The sheer size of its teeth, some measuring over 7 inches long, would have made short work of nearly any shark that crossed its path. Now let your imagination run wild. Could it be possible that such an extraordinary creature still swims undetected in the unexplored depths of the ocean? This notion is both exhilarating and frightening. Picture the size difference between a great white shark's tooth and that of a megalodon. It's hard to fathom, isn't it? With its incredible speed and immensely powerful bite, the megalodon was one of the fiercest predators to ever exist, making it hard to believe that such a massive creature could simply vanish without a trace. However, this question of disappearance raises an intriguing point. Could there still be megalodons lurking in the ocean's depths? It's worth noting that this wouldn't be the first time a fish species was thought to be extinct only to be rediscovered later. The coelacanth, a deep-sea fish, was considered extinct until it was found off the coast of Africa in 1938. However, there's a catch. It's relatively easy for smaller fish populations to remain hidden in the vastness of the deep sea. In contrast, megalodons were larger than a school bus and are believed to have favored shallow coastal areas, places where we would normally expect to spot such magnificent beasts. Just because we haven't spotted them in recent history doesn't automatically mean they've gone extinct. There's a tantalizing possibility that these ancient giants have evolved over millions of years, adapting to the conditions of our oceans and residing in the depths away from human eyes. While it's technically feasible, we must also consider how drastically the Earth has changed over eons. Modern humans such as Homo sapiens emerged roughly 300,000 years ago. Just think of how much we have changed since then. If megalodons still exist today, living incognito in the depths, they would likely have evolved significantly, resulting in a different appearance. Deep-sea creatures must adapt to thrive in their harsh environment, often feeding on the sparse life near the ocean floor. Therefore, if a megalodon has indeed adapted to life in the deep sea, it could resemble a sleeper shark more than the ferocious predator we imagine. Sleeper sharks are generally unaggressive and slow-moving, a far cry from the picture of a fearsome megalodon that we hold in our minds. Consequently, if an evolved modern-day megalodon exists, it might lack the speed and explosive power necessary to take down a 9-ton great white shark. So what do you think? Could a megalodon still be lurking out there in some form? Number 2. The giant squid. Let me introduce our next suspect, the giant squid. These elusive deep-sea creatures are steeped in mystery, dwelling at depths so profound that studying them is an arduous task. If you're in search of a shadowy predator capable of extraordinary feats, the deep ocean is undoubtedly the right place to start. Here's the kicker. Giant squids are known to inhabit the depths between 1,000 and 2,000 feet, precisely where shark alpha met its grim end. So how does the giant squid stack up against a great white shark? For starters, it's massive. The largest recorded specimen measured an astonishing 59 feet long and weighed nearly a ton, about 10 times the size of an average person. But size isn't their only advantage. These squids boast long, muscular tentacles adorned with suction cups. If one of those tentacles wrapped around a juvenile shark, those powerful arms could hold it tight, dragging it deeper into the dark abyss. Could it be that one of these enormous sea monsters ambushed shark alpha, overpowering it and dragging it into the depths? This chilling scenario might explain why the shark's final moments were recorded at such a dangerous depth. Giant squids have serious reach, able to snatch prey from as far as 33 feet away with their long feeding tentacles. Typically, they target smaller fish and shrimp, but emerging evidence suggests that sharks might not be off the menu. In 2020, a white-tip shark was found with massive tentacle marks that could only have been made by a large squid. While that particular shark escaped with its life, we can only wonder how many others didn't fare as well. These squids engage in a behavior known as vertical migration, rising to the surface at night to hunt and retreating to the depths during the day to avoid predators. This behavior raises the possibility that a giant squid could have surfaced, encountered shark alpha, and dragged it down for a meal. However, there's one critical detail that complicates this theory: the sudden spike in temperature recorded when shark alpha was eaten. If a giant squid had been responsible, we wouldn't expect such a dramatic jump to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, as squids are cold-blooded creatures matching the surrounding water temperature of about 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Thus, while the squid theory holds some merit, that temperature spike is a deal-breaker. Number 3. Deep-sea sounds. Deep-sea sound, dubbed the bloop. This enigmatic sound was first detected in 1997 by researchers monitoring volcanic activity in the southern Pacific Ocean. This extremely loud noise was unlike anything scientists had ever encountered before. While it may seem improbable for an animal to produce such a sound, many marine creatures are known for creating strange noises. Take the black drumfish, for instance. It generates peculiar sounds by using specialized muscles that vibrate against its swim bladder. Therefore, it's not entirely out of the question that a much larger undiscovered creature could emit even louder and stranger noises. When conspiracy theorists caught wind of the bloop, they quickly leapt to sensational conclusions. They noted that the sound was recorded near an area believed to be home to the fictional sunken city of Relaya, where H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu is said to be imprisoned. This connection only fueled speculation about the existence of ancient sea monsters lurking in the uncharted depths of our oceans. Despite the fantastical nature of these theories, the scientific community ultimately determined that the bloop likely originated from ice quakes or underwater ice movement. However, the sheer mystery surrounding the sound has continued to captivate the public's imagination. Who knows what else might be hidden in the dark corners of the ocean, waiting to be discovered? The deep sea remains largely unexplored, and the possibilities for new and mysterious creatures are seemingly endless. Lovecraft's mythical sea monster Cthulhu has certainly captured the imagination of horror enthusiasts, prompting some to speculate whether such a giant tentacled beast could actually exist. Now, while it's true that Cthulhu could likely take down a great white shark, it's important to remember that this creature is purely a figment of fiction, and perhaps that's for the best. As for the bloop, it took scientists years to unravel its mystery, and the truth turned out to be far less thrilling than some might have hoped. It wasn't a giant undiscovered creature lurking in the depths, but rather the sound of sea ice cracking and breaking, an occurrence that happens quite frequently in the Southern Ocean. When the audio was released to the public, it had been sped up by a factor of 16, transforming what was actually a natural phenomenon into an otherworldly noise. Number 4. Mosasaurus. Now let's shift our focus to a more intriguing suspect, the Mosasaurus. This ancient marine reptile was tailor-made for life in open waters, boasting the ability to swim comfortably at great depths. Unlike the Spinosaurus, the Mosasaurus didn't need to surface for air every few minutes, making it a true denizen of the deep sea. Could it be that a Mosasaurus or a similar creature was responsible for the mysterious disappearance of shark alpha? The Mosasaurus checks all the boxes as a prime suspect in our quest to uncover the identity of shark alpha's mysterious predator. It coexisted with Spinosaurus and was indeed a ferocious ocean inhabitant. The largest Mosasaurus could exceed 50 feet in length, making it an imposing sight in the water. Equipped with flipper-like limbs and a long shark-like tail, this predator could cut through the ocean at speeds approaching 30 miles per hour, only slightly faster than a great white. However, its sheer size gave it a significant advantage, allowing it to easily pursue and devour a great white shark with its razor-sharp teeth. In a hypothetical showdown between these two titans, it would hardly be a contest. A Mosasaurus could be over 5 times longer and 10 times heavier than a great white shark, a combination that spells quick defeat for the shark. However, this theory hinges on the assumption that these ancient marine reptiles survived the eons undetected in the ocean's depths. Is such survival plausible? When an asteroid struck Earth around 66 million years ago, it unleashed chaos, wiping out the dinosaurs. But could sea creatures like the Mosasaurus have found refuge in the oceans? While the water may have provided some protection from the initial blast, any survivors would soon face dire conditions. The aftermath of the impact led to increased carbon levels in the atmosphere and acid rain, which gradually acidified the oceans. This would have created a challenging environment for any marine life attempting to thrive. The search continues. Number 5. The orca. Dr. Alison Towner from Rhodes University in Grahamstown, South Africa, had spent years analyzing the escalating conflict between killer whales and sharks off South African waters, particularly the precise, brutal attacks on great whites. In her latest study, published in the African Journal of Marine Science, she detailed an encounter in 2023 that was both chilling and telling. A male orca named Starboard had honed in on a juvenile great white shark, a smaller, less intimidating target compared to the full-grown giants of its species, and it had little chance against such a powerful predator. The attack was quick and efficient, described by Towner's team as solo and swift. Starboard had captured the young shark by its left pectoral fin, using controlled thrusts to force it into submission. Unlike larger sharks that might put up more of a struggle, this juvenile, measuring just 2.5 meters, was effortlessly maneuvered by the orca. Within 2 minutes, Starboard had eviscerated the shark, surgically removing its liver, a high-calorie organ that orcas have shown a particular appetite for. The entire attack showcased the orca's adaptability and skill, honed by experience and perhaps even generational knowledge. This brutal encounter was part of a larger pattern observed by scientists. Starboard and another orca, Port, who together form a hunting duo nicknamed for their unique opposite-bending dorsal fins, had first made headlines in 2022. Aerial footage captured that year showed the pair hunting larger great whites in a display of coordinated precision. But this latest incident was different. Starboard hunted alone, and his target was not a full-grown shark but a mere juvenile. Scientists had seen orcas targeting young great whites before, but Starboard's technique displayed a chilling mastery. Dr. Towner noted how the juvenile shark's instinctive defensive circling was ineffective against the orca's tactics. For scientists like Dr. Luke Rendell from the University of St. Andrews, the attack was a remarkable observation of skill. Rendell noted Starboard's ability to grip the fin and avoid the juvenile's small but dangerous jaws, exploiting the shark's youth and inexperience. But for some, this pattern raises a larger, more tantalizing question about the depths of the sea. If a great white, even in its youth, can be a meal for a modern orca, what ancient creature might have haunted these waters in the past? Could there have been an orca-like creature as monstrous to the shark as the megalodon once was? Number 6. The Livyatan. You might not be familiar with the Livyatan, but this extraordinary, supposedly extinct species of sperm whale could have posed a serious challenge to the mighty megalodon. With teeth measuring up to an astonishing 14 inches long, excluding the impressive tusks, Livyatan boasted the largest dental arsenal of any known animal, both living and extinct. Picture such a formidable creature navigating the ocean's depths, equipped with massive, lethal teeth. Livyatan was likely a fierce competitor in the marine food chain, adept at hunting substantial prey, including sharks. While the megalodon captures our imaginations as a possible survivor from the past, Livyatan emerges as another fascinating contender in the ongoing quest to understand the ultimate ocean predator. Who knows what other magnificent beasts may still be hidden in the dark, unexplored expanses of the deep blue. Livyatan is widely believed to have been extinct for around 9 million years, but the reasons behind its extinction remain murky. Just consider the imagery of a tooth the size of a bowling pin, Such size evokes both fascination and fear. One prevailing theory suggests that global cooling events contributed to Leviathan's demise, as many of its prey struggled to adapt to the dropping water temperatures. This leads us to an interesting dilemma. Why did other sharks and whales manage to survive, thriving on similar food sources? One possible explanation is that Leviathan's immense size necessitated a greater quantity of food than that required by its smaller competitors. This heightened demand could have rendered Leviathan more susceptible to food shortages during periods of ecological change. Nevertheless, the precise reasons for Leviathan's extinction remain uncertain, and several factors contribute to the skepticism surrounding the notion of its survival. Just like contemporary dolphins and whales, Leviathan needed to surface to breathe. If they were still roaming the oceans today, they would have to make frequent trips to the surface for air, which would make it highly improbable for such a large creature to remain hidden from human eyes for millions of years. The combination of their enormous size and the necessity to surface regularly complicates the idea of a surviving Leviathan lurking in the depths. The Leviathan represents a fascinating chapter in the narrative of oceanic predators. If such a creature existed, it could have carved out a niche for itself alongside or even as a rival to the megalodon. The prospect of two such titans of the deep vying for dominance raises intriguing questions about the dynamics of prehistoric marine ecosystems. How would their hunting strategies differ? What other marine life would they have competed with or preyed upon? Number 7. Spinosaurus. Let's dive into the murky waters of our next suspect, the Spinosaurus. This formidable creature, on paper, was a true giant among dinosaurs, boasting an impressive length of up to 50 feet and standing 18 feet tall. Not only did it dominate the land, but it also thrived in aquatic environments. With its paddle-like feet and sealed nostrils designed to keep water out, the Spinosaurus emerged as a powerful semi-aquatic predator. Its sheer size and adaptability meant that it could have swallowed a shark whole without breaking a sweat. Imagine for a moment if a Spinosaurus had somehow managed to sneak up on shark alpha. It wouldn't have hesitated to add the great white to its menu. However, there's a minor detail to consider. Spinosaurus has been absent from our planet for about 72 million years. While the ocean is indeed a mysterious place, it seems unlikely that such a well-documented dinosaur could still be lurking beneath the waves. Despite its semi-aquatic nature, Spinosaurus couldn't remain submerged for long, especially not at the depths where shark alpha was last recorded. Given its massive size, any living Spinosaurus would hardly go unnoticed, further diminishing the chances of it being the culprit in the mystery. So it's safe to rule this one out. Chapter 4. The shocking revelation. So back to the question. What really devoured the great white shark? The shocking revelation. The case surrounding the mysterious disappearance of shark alpha reached a chilling climax in 2014, more than a decade after Dave and Janine first stumbled upon the dead whales that ignited this entire saga. The real answer was as unsettling as any theory floated before. Researchers began tracking the migration patterns of other great white sharks swimming through what had come to be known as the kill zone. In doing so, they uncovered something shocking. The tracking data from these sharks matched the patterns recorded by Shark Alpha's tracker. At first glance, this revelation seemed implausible. That sudden spike in temperature, which had confounded scientists for years, finally made sense. It matched the internal temperature of a great white shark. Out of all the possible culprits considered, nobody had ever thought that another great white might have been the one to take down Shark Alpha. While great whites aren't typically known for preying on each other, the story took a dark turn when researchers discovered the true identity of Shark Alpha's predator. This wasn't just any ordinary great white shark. Alpha had been taken down by a massive 16-foot-long cannibalistic great white shark. Yes, you heard that right. This monstrous predator likely suffered from a condition known as gigantism, resulting in abnormally high levels of growth hormone that allowed it to reach its astounding size. At 16 feet long, this shark was more than double Shark Alpha's weight. You might be wondering why a creature of this magnitude would resort to eating one of its own. It's not uncommon for sharks of regular size to consume smaller ones, so it stands to reason that a giant shark would target a more typical-sized shark. However, here's the kicker. Great whites usually don't dive to the depths where Shark Alpha met its fate. So why would this gigantic predator drag its meal down so deep? While there is no definitive answer, there have been rare instances of great whites diving as deep as 4,000 feet. Based on the timing of Shark Alpha's temperature spike, researchers surmised that the super shark likely made its meal at the end of its dive. This implies that it grabbed Shark Alpha and plunged down to disorient it, making the final kill all the easier. Talk about brutal. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.